Manish Malhotra, welcome to BBC Asian Network, but thank you for welcoming me into your headquarters here in Mumbai. How are you?
I'm good. I'm seeing you after so many years, and you look the same.
As do you,
And your interviews are getting even more famous than the people you actually interview.
You're very kind.
So thank you for being here, and it's always good to meet you and with the same warmth because you're always so warm and friendly and all of it. So I think this is going to be a fun interview.
You've humbled me so much. Thank you.
Thank you. It's true.
For me, this is an honor to be in your headquarters, to be at the center of where your creativity occurs, to be here amongst these incredible designs and outfits behind us, to see the craftsmanship that goes into each one of these garments. How proud and fulfilled do you feel 35 years into this business?
Oh, I feel older, more experienced, 35 years. I don't even know when they were just passed by, but I think I modeled for 5 years. I was always, I think, from childhood interested in movies and clothes and designing. I was fascinated by it. And I think one of the very famous directors said that I didn't really study movies, I just went to movies. And that's exactly what I did. I went to the movies wide-eyed in that dreamy world. I'm very grateful to my mother, who I live with, for having encouraged that, because she saw that in me. And I think I just saw everything on screen, whether it was lifestyle, clothes, color, music. I would come back and sketch. All the heroines' clothes really influenced me. And when I was modeling, I thought either I'll be a film director or I'll be a designer. And I, got down to designing because I wanted to do costumes and change movies. And I entered it 1990. I was 23, and I don't even know. 35 years. It's been a very, very busy career. And now I'm actually from Chunky Pandey to Ananya Pandey, from Shah Rukh Khan to Suhana, from Sridevi ji to, who I used to call ma'am and I still call her ma'am, to Janvi and Khushi. So it's been crazy.
Generations have passed, but Manish Malhotra remains. And it is because you have such incredible detail and attention to detail in everything that you do. But I really want to understand, how does one survive 35 years in this movie business? What do you think is really that key to your survival and your longevity in this business?
I think the glamour businesses, whether it's film direction, a film director, actor, acting, or whether it's designing, I think people get very consumed in their position, in their creativity, or what they brought to the table. They get very impressed, and I think it becomes a lot about them. If I have to say it in a very simplistic language, full of themselves. I think in my case, what has happened is because I've not studied. So for me, I'm still a learner. Mentally, in my mind, I'm like, no, I still need to know this, I still need to know that. Because I didn't come from that thing, oh, I've studied fashion, I know it all. So I still don't think I know it all. I come from that mindset. And I think that is, when you're not over-consumed in what you do, you're always a learner. And I think that keeps me grounded, that keeps me wanting to know more and move with the time. I think our organization is one of the rare organizations where the interns who join in have a voice, and I'm always interested in listening to opinions and listening to views. And like Karan, my friend, always teases me that you live in this beautiful bubble, which the day begins with you, and then it is what you're going to do, and it ends also with you. So your flowers in your house, to your clothes, to your deliveries of garments, to all of that. So I think beyond movies, clothes, and lifestyle, I know nothing. I'm not even interested in it. And and one more thing that I like to keep things is I like to keep things very simple. I don't. I'm not so good in my word, like with my grammar or words. I'm terrible at spellings. I'll say it, and I'll never try to be pretentious about something. I feel generally when it comes to fashion, style, movies, design, there's a bit of a pretentious aura around it. I keep it simple.
You know, you said that you're a learner, but today's designers learn from you. There is so much inspiration that actually not just designers, but just the normal public, general public, take from your designs, from your outfits, whether it is Karina's outfits in Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, to Priyanka's Desi Girl sari, to Alia Bhatt's saris in Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani. These are the outfits and the styles and the looks that influence the general public as well. How does it feel knowing that you and your mind, your creativity has such an impact on people?
Well, I think it comes from genuine love for cinema. Like I said, from the age of 5 or 6, I think, and I think I'm still have the I'm still enjoying the fruits of that vision of seeing that there is the cinema can be very influential, because see, the late 80s actually never really saw a decline in style in cinema, and I was very clear that no, it's the movies which will influence fashion and people in their style of dressing and all that, and all of that. I got into movies at a time when they looked at, you're a designer, you make clothes for a heroine, okay. So what? Whatever the heroine says, make it. I just wanted to look glamorous. And I would actually ask, but what is the story? What does she do? What's her profession? And they would be like, you're asking too many questions. And so having fought that, saying no, okay, I understand the role is only glamorous and sexy, but still giving it to look like, you are this person and you will wear this kind of clothes in this film. I used to sketch, I used to think of the character. Because I was interested in movies, I would listen to whatever little bit they told me about the role and try to etch out a character. And
can we focus on let's pick one character and see how you found that. For example, like
say Jeet of Karina's character. So
Charisma's character in Jeet.
No, Jeet. Sorry, Geet
in Jab We Met.
Sorry, Geet.
Geet
Yeah.
in Jab We
Met. Yeah. So she's this girl who's very talkative, flamboyant. She speaks a lot. She's even unaware of the amount she speaks, and she's very filmy in a particular way. But she's also a small town girl. Actually, that changed the glamour girl into that small town girl. Before that, it was always a glamour girl who's wearing clothes from New York, London. Another thing the trend that I started of styling and picking up clothes from all over the world, cutting them, redoing it, and all of it. So it was basically that, okay, she'll wear jeans with a shirt, but let's give her a very Indian scarf, and then, but she should change in the night. So I said, she would change into a t-shirt, a loose t-shirt, and then maybe a salwar. She can't, because she's a North Indian, and let's have a Mughal Azam poster on her t-shirt, because she's very filmy, and she's such a die-hard romantic girl. And the t-shirt and salwar became a big trend. So
yeah.
Blending, and after that, in that film, it was a kurti, jeans, and a denim hoodie jacket. So basically, like a high street fashion meets Indian fashion, and making it very, how should I say, making it like a very daily routine garment. And that's what happened with Jab We Met. So that's how I would work on characters, and I say, oh, in Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, Kajal is in Chandni Chowk and all that. So I actually went to Chandni Chowk, went to Lajpat Nagar in Delhi, picked up dupattas. And this was not that I was being paid extra for this research, or it was just me who would want to do all of that.
I think what you did is, I think you brought respect and credibility to fashion design and costume design in Hindi cinema. For a long time, Bollywood costumes, as you just mentioned, were seen to be just a thing, who cares about them? But to make costumes in films so influential that it could turn into a legacy of a 20-year brand now. We're celebrating 20 years of your brand, Manish Malhotra, as well. It's something that for a lot of people was unimaginable. How does it feel knowing that forever you will be a part of Hindi film legacy as having brought respect to costume design and fashion?
Well, I'm very influenced by Bhanuji's work, Bhanu Attaya, because before me, she has done some iconic work. But by the time I came into movies, she had moved on to doing a lot more, like Gandhi, like doing a lot more costumes for period films. It was difficult to give a little bit of a certain credibility to the glamour girl. But yes, that happened. And in fact, Filmfare actually, started an award for costume design. So I think it just came from pure passion and love for movies. And I think work kept coming and I kept going. And I think 35 years, there's not a single actor that I have not worked with, and I think it just kept happening and I kept going. And because, like I said, I don't fear failure. I feel we all have a good day and a bad day. If I start something and it fails, it doesn't matter. And there are lots of films that have done a bad job. There are many films that have done a very good job. My good is more than the bad, so it's fine. There's a balance. So when the mainstream, people started calling me at home for wedding clothes, and I was like, but I only do costumes. When Dil To Pagal Hai released and Dil To Pagal Hai clothes got really famous, and I heard that people are really making those clothes, I said, it's my design, my thoughts, because it was very difficult to keep tailoring those chiffon kurtas, fittings after fittings we would do. I said, but I've actually not really cashed on it because it's now all out for people. Should I start a label? But I'm so busy with movies, all of that. Lots of clothes coming home that we want a wedding outfit on. So I finally decided that, let me start my own label. But I'll continue doing costumes. The label will be like I'll make saris or maybe some wedding order or something. But then there came a time when I was doing Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. I was a student of the year. There was a heroine for Kareena. Then there was Jab Tak Hai Jaan. And I was in London. And I was supposed to come down to Mumbai for Fashion Week. And I couldn't. Last minute, I had to cancel the show. There were so many films going on. I would be on the phone. There were about 5 films. I can't remember the 5th film. And that's when I decided, okay, you know what? Now the time's come and I'll have to reduce my film work if I have to concentrate on my label and take that ahead.
At what point did you realize that you had become an aspiration for girls all around the world? This idea of people aspiring to save enough money so that they could wear a Manish Malhotra lehenga on their wedding. This is it's quoted in movies. Of course, Humpty Sharma Ki Dulhania is the film where it really became an iconic dialogue that Alia's character wanted to wear a Manish Malhotra lehenga at her wedding. But this is a thing. Girls all around the world, they save their money. They work towards this one aspirational item for their wedding. When did you realize that was a thing?
Well, I think social media has really helped us realize that. And now when I'm seeing, in fact, recently, I'm seeing a lot of, K3G and Kareena's clothes or Jab We Met and all the work, Dil To Pagal Hai, all the Yash Chopra films. I miss him so much, my most favorite director. So now I'm seeing that how today's generation is referring to all of it. And a lot of fashion that I see is today that we've already done in the movies. So I see it today. And at that time, honestly, I just kept working. I didn't even think, you can never really say, I'm going to do this and this is going to become iconic. But then it never happens.
Yeah.
You just do it and then you see what happens. I come from a generation where there was no validation like today. There was no that quick validation. We worked, hoping that it gets noticed.
I remember meeting you a few years ago in London, and what I really respected about what you said is that you wanted to reduce the prices of your garments so they were more accessible for people in more rural areas or people with lower incomes to be able to afford. Because although your brand is exclusive, you do want it to be accessible to the largest amount of people. Why was that important to you?
I think it's always important because of the movies, I have kind of known, a lot more. And I felt that, and that's the reason we started Manish Malhotra Beauty, because, I felt that if you can't get the garment, you at least have a, like Manish Malhotra Beauty. Now we want to come up with sweatshirts, and in fact, just the last 2 days, we've been shooting luxury breadth, where this year we're going to announce like a whole luxury breadth vertical. So I think for every designer becoming a brand, it's very important to introduce a lot more verticals, because there's a wedding that happens and then the wedding is done. Then you need to, if you come back to as a designer, you want to pick up something else because the brand, you've had a good time with the brand in terms of you've enjoyed the clothes and all of it. So I think it's very important to constantly keep introducing new verticals, which is something that you learn from all the international brands who survive more than 100 years.
You know, 2024, I think, was the ultimate validation for the brand of Manish Malhotra because you conceptualized the entire Ambani wedding, which was the biggest wedding of, I think, our lifetimes, to be honest with you. We have
Yes.
never seen anything like this, from Rihanna flying in to everything that was happening here in Mumbai. I mean, behind me is an outfit that is inspired by something you created for Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, but was worn by Shloka at the Ambani wedding as well.
That's right.
Talk to me about the conceptualization of that wedding and the amount of work that went into that.
Well, I would give full credit to Mrs. Neeta Ambani because she's a visionary person, and she is somebody who has kindness. She, in her entire vision, for her, it's very important that she, gives a very special place to handicraft, handloom, employment, and a lot of culture importance in that she gives and gives a lot of importance to. I think working with her, I'd worked earlier for Isha's wedding, but it was more brief because we'd done an event in Udaipur. It was 5 events in 2 days. But working with her in this entire wedding, the meticulousness that she works with, the way the teams were all divided, it was, I think it was a journey and an experience that I will never ever forget all my life, because it was also an experience that we enjoyed very much, right? Because I think I can also keep discussing flowers and interior and clothes.
To what detail were you involved? Like, to what detail of this wedding were you involved in?
So it was Mrs. Ambani who led this, and we worked with her, helping her on her vision, working with her. And so we were involved in every aspect of when it came to Jamnagar, the hotels that were opening there, from the uniforms to cutlery to designing the digital invites, to all of it. But I think the family is very involved. Whether it was Isha, but Mrs. Ambani is very deeply involved. I've never seen a mother who is so involved and so concerned about every guest and the experience that the guest will happen. In the minute details. For example, let me give you an example that when the wedding was happening, the chairs would have a pocket at the back where there is a water bottle and a fresh towel and all of that.
Wow.
So details like that, which is what, and I think I always feel God is in details, and singers, whether, of course, one always sees the famous singers, but there were other singers who sing cultural songs, and there were maestros, and there's a lot of respect given by her to arts and culture. And I think that was a very important part. And it was like a whole world coming together, right? Because we were working with Jeff Leatham, who's Paris-based and Los Angeles-based, and Preston Bailey, who's New York-based. And then we were working with other floral designers and art directors from Mumbai and Delhi and Gujarat and all of it. So it was literally like the world is coming together here, for this wedding. And I think it's a wedding, like you said, it's in our lifetime. It's the wedding that can never happen again. It's been so brilliant.
You said the world was gathered here, but actually the entire world's attention was on India.
That's
the entire world's attention was on Mumbai, on Jamnagar, on you, because you were conceptualizing this. What did the global impact of that wedding have on you and your brand?
I think first of all, if I have to say, the global impact was that it projected India in a very different light, right? It kind of also showed that India is all about celebration and opulence as well. And how the world is looking at India, because the guests who were there and all that. I think for us, it's been a very interesting dimension, and that yes, we can do all of this. It's not just the clothes. And that's really what I love. I mean, when I'm given a challenge, if I may say, or another dimension, and I love to do that 100%, because it's not that I don't want to limit myself that, I'm only good for costumes. I went on to doing mainstream. It was very difficult to be accepted in mainstream at that time. And all the things that I started in mainstream were completely looked down upon, from having a film star as a showstopper, from having film actors at the front row, from dressing up movie stars and showing my work, or making very blingy, shiny clothes. But today, it's a norm. Whether it's showstoppers at Fashion Week, it's blingy clothes all over, whether it's the front row or there's designers wanting to. When you're a first, there's always a flack that comes your way. There's always a resistance that comes your way. This is wrong. But I feel there's nothing wrong in creativity and in fashion. And you just have to be convinced and go on about it, right? And I went on about it because I had good relationships with the actors because I was doing movies. So when I'm doing a show, how will I not call them? But today, it's a norm. Like you have to have a front row of film stars or celebrities, or they're showstoppers, and everybody's making shine clothes. And starting the sequence sari or the Desi girl sari, or, so all of that.
I want to come on to your constant innovation in a moment, but I think what the Ambani wedding did for you is that for many years, Bollywood costume was not seen as being classy. It was not seen as being cool. It was seen as being very much for the masses and people. But I think affluent people or people from the middle class or upper class saw Bollywood as something that was not for them. And what the Ambani family did was they made it cool to incorporate Bollywood into mainstream or certainly higher class culture. And you being at the core of that, I think brought a certain amount of elevated credibility to your brand as well. That if it's good enough for the Ambanis, it's good enough for everyone. Did you see a change in or a shift in the way people viewed you after that?
Yeah. So actually, this is what what I was coming to was that there's been so many different dimensions which I've taken on fearlessly, and working on the wedding on every aspect. Me and my team working with Mrs. Ambani on everything, Anisha. It was just an absolute pleasure. It was something that, and I have to give them the credit that for like when you mentioned that it puts a very beautiful impression of Bollywood, of design, of class, grace, opulence, all of it together. But that's a vision that they come with, and for me, whether it helped our brand. It definitely helped our brand, of course, because like I said, it puts a different perspective, right? That, oh my God, they can do so much. It's not just about clothes. It's not the jewelry that they've started. It's not the makeup that they've started. They've also can conceptualize. They can work on every different aspect. And and while we were doing this, the Air India uniform came about. And I'm a designer who does a lot of collaborations. I'd get a lot of endorsements. And from a Range Rover to a Swiggy to doing a collaboration with Air India, Starbucks, the wedding, in the being involved in the clothes, in the design, in the decor, I think it just gave us a complete. I think it definitely put the brand out there that they're a multifaceted brand.
I mean, you've designed and styled so many international stars as well, but here you were styling the Kardashians, for example. What was that experience like?
Oh my God, they were fantastic. They were so professional. They landed. And they came straight to the fittings.
So it was Kim and Khloe, both of them?
Both of them. And I think they were just so, involved in what they were wearing and concern and the fit and all of it. And I actually love people who are, serious about what they're wearing. Maybe because I'm so attached to clothes.
Did they come here to this building?
It was at the Taj.
Okay.
It was at the Taj. Those stylists had come a day before at the atelier. And because they came just a night before. So it was a great experience working with them. Really wonderful experience. And for them to text me, once they landed back in America to say thank you, it was wonderful. I thought it was great. It was really great.
Really, there are no borders or boundaries between different countries when it comes to
Definitely now
fashion.
there's some good work being done by designers, Asian designers, and you're seeing so many international stars wearing Asian designers. And I think it's such a beautiful mix. This is something that we all want, right?
Yes.
Where a lot of the Asian craft and textile and design you see on international red carpets.
But also your name is growing further and further. You were just at the Golden Globes this year as well. What was that experience like? What were you doing at the Golden Globes?
I was going to LA because I started producing films, and one of my films was showing at the Palm Spring Festival. And that's how the whole thing worked out, because I was going to be in LA. And I think it was an experience that I'll never forget, because it was so beautiful. And I thought it just starts on time, gets over on time. All the actors were so relaxed, so wonderful.
Sorry, I have to stop. I love the fact that the main thing that you loved about the Golden Globes was that it starts on time and it ends on time, because nothing in Mumbai does.
It doesn't, right? So it was like, yes, it was like, wow, it starts like 5 o'clock means it started at 5 o'clock. And I thought if the entire atmosphere was so relaxed and, at ease. I think the actors spoke so beautifully. They made their points, when they came to receive the awards. I mean, it was an experience that I don't think I'll ever forget.
Manish, you've really seen the journey of Indian cinema gaining international recognition from the 90s, when really it wasn't seen to be as a major contender in the international film market, to today in 2025, when there's All We Imagine Is Light, which is a major contender for so many award shows. We've seen that Amir Khan production Lapata Ladies has been longlisted or appeared on so many long lists as well. How do you feel, as somebody who's at the core of this industry, to see that change in recognition?
Well, it gives us only happiness, because it's truly deserved. I think we have some wonderful filmmakers, actors, performers, and I think it's beyond high time that Asian films are represented all over the world. And I'm just only happy with what Lapata Ladies has done, and all the films have. There's a new short film just now at the Oscar nomination.
Anuja, I think it's called, yes.
Yeah. And I think the world, like you said, the world's getting closer, and social media really makes the world get even closer, because each one knows their work, or where were you last night, and and things like that.
Well, I know everybody who arrives at your house, Manish, because you are known very famously for these incredible parties that you throw at your house. How do you have time to manage this multi-million-pound business, to have this incredible headquarters that we're at right now, these 6 amazing studios all around the world, and still host the best parties in town? How does that happen?
I think I'm a very house-proud person. I love running a home. So from the flowers in the house, and I think when I reach home, it just gives me this kind of peace. And as a designer, my house actually doesn't really have too much of embroidery or anything. It's more tranquility. It's like lighter colors. There's a lot of greenery. There's a lot of fresh flowers. I think I love hosting, because food is something I absolutely love, and I feel food is a way of getting to know someone over a meal, chatting, relaxing. So for me, I love to host, and for me, every person who comes to my party, who I've invited, is important. And I would definitely look into whether they've eaten, whether they're drinking, whether they're happy, whether they're fine, whether clicking a picture. I don't believe in differentiating at all about anything. And for me, all the guests are one.
This is absolutely what I wanted to pick up on, because I've spoken to so many actors and actresses who talk so highly of the way you host them. And actually, you do have a lot of different personalities quite often in the same space, and you have to make everybody feel just as welcome and just as special. And quite often, the Hindi film industry plays into a hierarchy of who is in the A league and who is in the B league, and who is where in the industry, and they treat them differently based on that. And I think what you do is you make everybody feel equal, as you mentioned. How do you create an atmosphere when actually you are styling individuals and dressing them for particular events, but you still need to remain neutral at the same time?
Well, I think because it's my nature, I don't believe in hierarchy. I've worked with actors when they were just coming up. For example, calling Karan one night and saying, I saw this song of this actress called Kiara, and she's really good. You should meet her. She's really good. And or with Karthik, knowing Karthik from much earlier, when I saw his movies and said he's an actor who's really going to go ahead. In fact, Taha in his recent interview said that there are a lot of designers who are now wanting to dress me, but there was one designer who always called me for my parties and always been a friend for the last 10 years, is Manish. So I don't see people based on their success. That doesn't matter to me. I see people like, do I resonate? Do I think there's a friend here, or whose company I enjoy? It's about that. And I think when it is genuinely about that, it comes through as well. It's as simple as that. Because I feel I've worked for that many years. I've worked so hard. I still do. I love to work. what is the point of your achievement or your part of so-called success when people speak about success if you are going to still differentiate?
But you know, this defies the idea that Bollywood is this big bad world where, you know, people are ruthless and cutthroat.
I don't think so. It's how you, I don't think so. It's how you are, you know, and you know, a lot of people travel somewhere for peace and all that, but sometimes I feel, for me, waking up early in the morning, listening to a chant, you know, having my cup of tea is peace. So I feel happiness and peace is in very small things of life, you know, and it's within you to find that. And for me, I don't see it as, oh, I have to only be with a successful actor or with a successful person, or I'm going to befriend someone so that they can make more outfits from me. I don't think in my life I've ever called an actor and said, give me this film, or why are you wearing this other designer's outfit? I don't think I can ever do that. It's not even in my nature. I don't do that. I've never done it. In fact, strangely, once or twice when I've actually called someone for work, that's never happened. So it's not in my tushan. So I've like, you know, I never call for anything, because I think once my team said, so you must call, you never call. There was a, you know, an actress's wedding coming up. And I actually made that call that, you know, that you think, because I started feeling that my team should not, you know, that isn't looking like, oh, I don't care. It never happened. Then I think once which is that film? Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi. I'd call Aditya Chopra because I'd done so much work with all their movies, right? And so, oh, I'll be doing this movie. And he's like, no, but this movie, the character is very simple. I think actually you should not do it because I don't want her to be glamorous. And I realized, you know, that it's not in me to call or text. It never works out for me. So I've never done that. What comes your way, you do it really well. But I don't think I ever can do that.
I think you and your home is a safe haven for a lot of people, you know, particularly seeing the way that some, you know, Janvi and Khushi Kapoor are with you and how comfortable they feel around you. You clearly create an atmosphere where people feel like they can be themselves.
I've gone to the hospital to see them when they were born. I mean, I remember seeing Khushi newly just born. I mean, they got her and I saw her. So, you know, I know them from before.
Is that why you designed the best outfit of the entire Ambani wedding for Janvi Kapoor?
That's credit to Janvi, because the concept of the peacock lehenga came from her. And she was very like, I want, you know, she had this concept. She told my assistant, Niharika, who, you know, works a lot with her. And she was like, tell MM that we should do this. And also she's very into clothes, very excited. She's wonderful. And yeah, so it came from her and I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try that. And yeah, so like I said, I like collaborating. It's never like, oh, I have to think of an idea and it's my call. I don't know, I don't approach anything like that. And yeah, so that's how it all happened.
Manish, I think it's this attitude which is why you have survived 35 years in the movie business, 20 years as a brand Manish Malhotra as well. And actually, like I said, I'm so excited to be here at your headquarters with these incredible outfits behind us. I would love to get a bit of a tour around your building as well. Is that possible?
Of course.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you for this conversation. Thank you so much. And let's go around and please show me whatever you'd like to show me in your office.
Yes, and I actually look forward to showing you, because you're meeting after some years, and I want you to really see where Indian fashion is going, you know, because a lot of designers who are doing such incredible work. There are ateliers that are coming up. The business is getting more and more serious and getting more global. And that's an interesting phase for Indian fashion. You
also, just before we go, you have to explain this to me, because this is the most blingy thing I've ever seen you wear, ever. You don't do bling.
Can you imagine? I mean, considering that I'm known from sequin saris to blingy clothes, I actually, personal style is simple and black. Yeah, these are our jewelry that we've launched. It's you know, very high, fine jewelry. And actually the men brooches and the collar pins and the cufflinks are doing really well.
Oh, lovely.
So that much is what even I can manage, not beyond this.
Well, it looks great. Thank you so much, Manish. And please, let's go ahead and have a look around.
Let's do that. So NMACC has been a great center of art and culture, and Mr. Ambani had this vision for NMACC, and the fact that they had that beautiful exhibit.
They had your exhibit, right?
Yes, and we showed our Fulkari work, which we had showed at the Philadelphia Museum earlier, and of course that iconic outfit became iconic with Deepika wearing it at the Mijma fashion show.
Yes.
So lots of work going on, as you can see. Friends,
Wow.
here work, shoot here, come. This is a all shoot happening here.
Hi, everyone.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah, that's like a whole, that's the entire shoot.
Wow.
This is actually a merchandising room. This is an entire merchandising office. And in the merchandising room, we are doing a shoot for e-commerce, as you can see.
I'm
These
sorry,
are-
we don't mean to throw you off by bringing lots of people into your shoot right now to watch you, but this is, I mean, for you, how does it feel being a model for a Manish Malhotra garment? How does that feel for you as a model?
Super amazing. Knowing he's got the best suits, and I'm of course doing some good job.
You're a lucky man, you're looking great, we'll leave you to it as well. So Manish, this is the merchandising floor,
Yeah, so
right?
this is where clothes come in back for alterations or clothes that have to go to different stores. So this is where it all gets centered, and then from here it goes to the world.
Can I ask you, are you involved in every single design?
Yes, I shouldn't be, but I am so hands-on with everything. And sometimes my team says that you don't need to, but it's just that I'm obsessed with work.
And to what level? Like, for example, we can see these garments here. You would be involved to the level of deciding
So the
the
reason that these
beadwork.
garments are here because they're going to be checked with me today.
Right.
Before they leave, I'd like to check the production of it, the finishing of it, and
Manish, this is all absolutely incredible. To see that this is the inside world of Manish Malhotra is amazing. Thank you so much for...
thank you. And I have to say that you guys are the first guys that have really allowed them to be at the merchandising floor and all of it. But because it's a pleasure, I'm so excited to meet you after so long.
It's been such a
And
pleasure.
I'm great to be with you guys. And yes.
Here's hoping for another 35 years of Manish Malhotra, another 20 years of the brand, and much, much more. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you.